the House Republican Conference Chair, Elise. She was a surrogate for the Trump campaign. CNN is projecting she easily won re-election in her upstate New York 21st district. Congratulations, Congresswoman. Thanks so much for coming in. I want to get to what's happening in the House in a second, but what's your immediate reaction to Donald Trump's very impressive, very decisive win in the Electoral College and the popular vote?
Well, this was an overwhelming victory for President Trump. We, the people, made our voices heard, and you can see a new big tent Republican Party. He made historic gains among African-American voters, Latino voters, women voters, Asian-American voters, Jewish voters. And you also see in every single county across America, Kamala Harris underperformed Joe Biden. Donald Trump overperformed his 2020 outcome. So this was a successful campaign, and it was successful on the issues. The top two issues for voters were the economy and the border, and President Trump day in and day out presented his message of how he was going to grow the economy, crush inflation, and secure the border, and his America First message appealed across party lines.
Your party, the Republican Party, Congresswoman, certainly looks like it's flipped the Senate, but the House of Representatives, and you're a member of the House, of course, is still pretty much in play. How important is it for the incoming president, President Trump, and for your party to retain the House?
Well, it's very important, and we're very optimistic that we will not only hold the House, but that we will pick up seats, and here's why. If you look at the turnout in support of President Trump and how he was able to provide coattails to these Senate candidates with flipped Senate races, we believe we're seeing the same thing. We've already had 2 pickups in Pennsylvania. Of course, there were 3 losses in New York, but that was an overall win for us. Democrats tried to defeat 5 Republican incumbents in New York State. We're also watching the Upper Maine district closely, as well as California seats, which are trending in our direction. So we think we're going to pick up seats, obviously having unified Republican government to allow us to secure the border, focus on America First economic policies. That is a top priority, and that's why we worked so hard campaigning side by side President Trump.
If the House doesn't go in Trump's favor, Representative Stefanik, do you think he's ready to actually come to the negotiating table on any important issues with the Democrats?
Well, I think the House is going to go in Republicans' favor, and President Trump said so last night, and he knows how to read these votes better than anyone. But this is where I think the media did not give President Trump enough credit in his first term, Wolf. He delivered many bipartisan victories, whether it was the USMCA, updated trade agreements to support American manufacturers, small businesses, and farms. He passed the First Step Act. He passed Right to Try to make life-saving drugs available for Americans. The media never wanted to give him the bipartisan credit, but he actually delivered major bipartisan wins in that first term. And certainly we're going to have a Republican House to work to pass our agenda, secure the border. The real question needs to be asked, why have the Democrats failed to reach out to voters? They lost independence. They underperformed consistently. And it's because their radical message is woefully out of touch. To tell the American people the economy is okay when people see it at the grocery stores every day, President Trump won on the message, won on the substance, and just outworked Kamala Harris.
We did give him a lot of credit for the Abraham Accords, as you well know, Representative Stefanik, when he brought new partners for Israel to work with the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco. That was a very significant achievement on his part, as I'm sure you appreciate as well. You are the Republican Conference Chair.
Yes, and I want to add to that.
Go ahead.
Yes, let me comment on that because I think that is really important, Wolf. People are paying attention to what's happening around the world, particularly the Middle East, particularly our precious ally, Israel, under attack by Iranian-backed Hamas terrorists and Iran directly. And to compare that with the historic Abraham Accords, as you laid out, the biggest breakthrough for peace normalization in a quarter of a century, and we had peace and stability around the world. That was a driving issue as well that President Trump won overwhelmingly.
Yeah, and it certainly helped him win a significant representative of the Jewish vote out there in your district and other districts as well, as I'm sure you appreciate. You're the Republican Conference Chair, Representative. What do you see as the party's top priorities when the 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, takes office?
Well, we've been very straightforward telling the American people it's securing the border and it's growing our economy. President Trump has laid out his vision and policy plans on both of those. The good news is we know what a secure border looks like. We can go back to President Trump's successful border security policies, and the House passed the Secure the Border Act with every Republican vote, and, voters held Democrats accountable. Not a single Democrat voted for that border security bill. So we intend to pass that. Growing the economy, unleashing energy independence, that is key. We passed that bill among House Republicans. President Trump is ready to get to work unleashing American energy dominance. And then, of course, growing the economy by ensuring that we continue to cut taxes for hardworking Americans. That means no tax on tips, no tax for Social Security. These were actually policy agenda items that President Trump rolled out that then Kamala Harris took and rolled out after the fact because they were resonating so significantly among the American people. But crushing this inflation is top of the mind, and we believe a path towards economic growth will help crush this skyrocketing inflation.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik of New York, thanks very much for joining us, and congratulations once again on your very impressive win, in your re-election win in upstate New York.